Okay, revision, adoption, ordering of the agenda. Do we have any changes? Okay, hearing none. Do I have a motion? Okay, please vote on this.
What happened to mine?
I know mine went dead.
Mine just went dead.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
mine seems to be going along with the system,
Oh, here, now it's come up.
I got it fixed.
but this is still here. See, I've gone through this.
I voted.
And
Okay.
we're supposed to be voted, but this was the go to closed session election right here. For some reason,
Mary did it.
but before
Oh, I got it.
I push this button,
Already voted.
that was already there.
I
Okay.
mean, I think Ted.
Let me make it one side. Half now and then I said, 65 for me. Well, that's what they said. I think they'll do it. Well, because they might get some public feedback. I'm not worried about it, Marcy. Whatever. It is what it is. There's Charles Adams. Should we wave? The rest of the cabinet is at other meetings, so we're making a joke like, who are they? Tweeting it out. Thank you, Shane.
Should come over and slap you silly. Okay. All righty, next item. Report out of closed session.
There is no report this evening, Mr. President, out of closed session.
Okay. District update by the superintendent.
Thank you very much, and welcome everybody to our October board meeting. I'm going to start off with, if it's okay, Mr. President, asking for a moment of silence. We were informed yesterday that one of our students, Angel Refugio, a 20-year-old home hospital student, passed away Saturday morning, serious illness. While he lived in the Paris High boundary area, he's been a home hospital student for us, and his case manager, Ryan Doblado, informed us that he's had a history of illnesses, and just it's a sad day when somebody so young passes away. So if it's all right with you, Mr. President, ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. Well, we did have some pictures up here earlier of what was going on today, because if you saw me, you probably saw that blue tie and thought, he's wearing that blue tie too much. But we were actually today, a number of teachers, administrators, classified staff, classified managers were at the 12th Annual Riverside County Education Summit in Palm Springs. And the purpose of the summit is to highlight models of excellence, academic and innovation programs around the county that are worth noting. And I'm going to send this program around to the board. But we had 3 of our programs recognized. And I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about each one and who was there. First of all, in the morning session, Paloma Valley High School put on use of technology. The presenters were teachers Tom Ashley, Dr. Dottie Peters, Jennifer West, our Director of Technology, Joe Williams, and Principal Don Williamson. And their session was, or this basically talked about it, in August of 2013, the Paris Union High School District issued approximately 10,500 Chromebooks to every single student in the district. The ID department had paved the way by preparing Wi-Fi signals, bandwidth, and software for every building and campus. This was done to begin immersion into Common Core state standards and SBAC testing. The district chose to use Chromebooks for its cost and compatibility with SPAC testing. Haiku was chosen as the learning management system, and that's what Dr. Peters and Jennifer West talked about, is how they're using it in their classroom, and both of them are doing incredible work with it. Each school site had a technology coach, and of course, Mr. Ashley pointed out to everybody who was there that one of the keys to success is making sure that you have a technology coach, a teacher at each school or so that the teachers can figure out how to use it and make their classrooms come alive. So they put on a wonderful presentation today. And then in a later session, there were 2 later sessions in the morning. One was Positive Behavior Intervention Support, Pinacati Middle School, Principal Drew Morgan and Assistant Principal Jesse Flores. And their session was, as part of the Positive Behavior Intervention Support, Pinacati Middle School has implemented a number of positive, systematic, procedural programs and interventions to promote and maintain successful student behavior. And they showed results. They showed results of declining suspensions, expulsions, and increased attendance at school. These include school-wide best expectations, bi-monthly positive climate committee meetings, monthly student success presentations, a variety of awards and recognition for students for positive behavior and academic success, engaging after-school activities, professional development that focuses on effective classroom management, school-wide timeout and transition procedures, after-school tutoring options, student success plans, and a Brothers Keeper program. The practices, activities, and systems that are currently in place have made a positive impact on the overall school environment. And they had a standing room only group of middle school educators around the county who were thrilled to hear what they were talking about. And last but not least, Heritage High School counselors presented. That they include counselors Sherry Adame, Counselor Guadalupe Fierros, Counselor Melina Gonzalez, Counselor Coral Prendergast, Career Center person, wonderful extraordinaire Audrey Smith, Counselor Ben Washburn, and Principal Julie Zerold. And they talked about their counseling program, how they're increasing the A through G rate and doing a lot of innovative things. Heritage High School has structured the counseling program to systematically provide effective communication with all stakeholders, parents, teachers, administrators, support staff, and counselors throughout the 4-year high school career. The focus is to improve A through G completion rate, completion of college applications, the use of technology, and the implementation of strategies and interventions that improve student success. Throughout the school year, data is pulled and surveys given to provide detailed information on how best to serve students. The counseling team has had a tremendous impact on the culture of the school. It is the goal of Heritage High School and the counseling program to provide a safe place to grow and support student success in all aspects of the high school experience. And again, I attended all 3 of these sessions, couldn't have been prouder. And then at the lunch, all 3 were given an award by County Superintendent Ken Young. And so you'll start seeing pictures around on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else. We saw him here earlier in the meeting. And again, we had actually, there was no other district that had more than 3, but for the number of students we had, we clearly shined, and I couldn't be more proud of our staff for doing the great things they're doing to support students. And of course, Marcy was there as well, and Hector was there, and Diane was there, and raise your hand if you were there, because there are a lot. Yeah, okay. So, otherwise, I'm going to miss somebody and get in trouble. It's quite a big event and quite a success story. Paris High School on September 24th, we had a dedication and groundbreaking, and Nick Hilton and his staff, along with Hector and his staff, really laid out what those new structures are going to look like, and it's an exciting time at Paris High School. We do have some people that, it was surprising, we do have some people who, longtime Paris High people who look at the old campus and where the buildings were, and even though those buildings needed to go, they kind of were sad. They go, oh my God, my school's changing around me, but I know they're going to love the new buildings. And those permanent structures will be done by August of 2016, and it's going to make a huge difference and continue the modernization at Paris High School. This month, I don't think anybody in this room knows, is California Month of the Principal. Now, if you knew that, raise your hand. Okay. Okay, so Michael Rhodes and Marcy Savage knew that. Well, there's a saying in superintendent school, and it goes like this. If you have the best principals, you're a real lucky superintendent and you have a really great district. And I couldn't be more proud of the principals that Marcy and I and our team here get to work with every single day. And so I hope to see it on the marquees. It'd be nice, recognizing our principals and the great work that they do. We had an active shooter drill at Paris High School, and we have active shooter drills around the district. And, of course, none of us want to think about that happening, but we need to be prepared for it. And tomorrow is October 16th, and at 10:16, right, Judy? On 10:16, we are going to have the California Shakeout tomorrow. And while we talk about active shooters and dangerous people on campus, I want to remind everybody, as a native Californian who's lived through a lot of earthquakes, it is way more likely, times 100 or 1,000, that we're going to have a big earthquake and have to deal with that than an active shooter. It doesn't mean we don't prepare for active shooters, but I just want everybody to know that at home, make sure you're stocking up on water. You know where your family are going to meet and, reclaim one another, because it may not be at home and it may not be at work. Have a place to be, and we're going to be shaking it tomorrow morning and making sure that as a district we're doing everything we can to protect our staff and our students. Let's see. Oh, this is really interesting. Normally we would say this at the CMI meeting, but I want everybody to know that last month, one of our architects, PJHM, they're the ones that have done Pinacati. They're going to do the new middle school, and they're doing work at CMI. And as part of giving back to the district, they invited a number of cadets. That's not part of our energy savings program. I just think the light went out. As part of training students to be architects and understand, we had a group of, I think, Mr. Rhodes, about 25 students that went down to PJHM's architect offices in Orange County, and they got a chance to see computer-assisted drafting and got a chance to really see what it's like to be an architect and build a school from the ground up. And I really thank our architect firm, because that must have set them back for a whole day, having all those kids there. But what a great opportunity, and I commend them for doing it. Let's see. Paris High School, got something good to report there. Not only is their football team off to the best start in 35 years in terms of wins and losses, they're really doing well about improving GPA. I got this from Principal Nick Hilton. He said, I was impressed by this and thought I would pass it on. The average GPA for Paris High athletics went from 2.2 to 2.8 in the past grading period. Girls volleyball led the way with a collective GPA over 3.1, followed closely by boys water polo. The Panther football squad only had 4 ineligible students out of more than 80 players. And, it is that time where athletics are important. We want to win, but I think the most important thing is getting the students to understand that athletics is part of a high school experience, but it is probably not going to be your career, and that doing well in school is way more important and staying eligible. And so I commend Mr. Hilton and his team for doing that. And we always talk about how our technology department, and Shane's here to represent them tonight, continue to do good things for our teachers in the classroom. Got a nice letter here from a science teacher at Paloma Valley who said, I just wanted to let you know that the tech support on this site, Paloma Valley, is phenomenal. Support shows up quickly, solves the problems and the issues, and is so helpful in keeping the items I need in the classroom working. I've never seen such professionalism in 15 years of teaching. From each tech to Tom Ashley, it's been a real pleasure. As an example, I need a test bank yesterday, and support sent a video on how to retrieve things. This allowed me to better understand the SMB, whatever that stands for, because I don't know, as well as find other test banks. Most important, I shared the video with a neighbor teacher and helped her too, because I later was able to show her how to import the exam view into Haiku, saving the hours of work. Thank you for making my job less stressful. And signed, Lane Haney, a science teacher at Paloma Valley. So I thought that was nice and worth sharing. As you notice, Candace Rains is not here. She and Joe Williams are on their way to New York in a very small plane right now. Candace was very nervous about that, and at her age said she thought the pilot looked 12. Really. Here's a little bit about what they're doing. Google recently developed a new program called Google in Education Think Tank, of which Paris Union High School District was one of 20 total districts and universities in the country invited to participate and send 2 representatives. We shared this with the board in our oral report in November of 2013. Think tank partners meet with each other at Google offices twice a year in 2014 and 2015. 1 meeting per year takes place in Mountain View, California, and 1 per year takes place in New York City. The 2014 New York City meeting is tomorrow and Friday. Through Think Tank, Google is providing a collaborative forum for partners to share and learn from their experiences with integrating technology into classroom and culture. The goal for the Think Tank program is to inspire innovative approaches to education, to disseminate insights on learning models, and to determine how Google technology can best support schools and universities. And one of the things that we know with our head start in technology, with all of our kids with technology, we can't rest. We've got to continue pushing the envelope and finding out how this technology can be used by teachers to improve learning in the classroom. And so I commend Candace and Joe for leading our efforts in that. Coming up on October 28th, we will have the College and Career Fair at Heritage High School, October 28th from 6 to 8 at Heritage. And I believe, make sure for sure. Yep, that'll conclude my report for this evening, Mr. Holstrom.
Okay, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Greenberg. Okay, student representatives to the Board of Trustees. From Heritage High School, we have student representative Natalie Bowen.
Good evening, board members and trustees. My name is Natalie, and I'm here to represent Heritage. I'm a junior this year, and I'm also involved with ASB this year. I'm just going to start off by talking about our homecoming we just had. Starting off with our pep rally, which was very successful. It was very fun. We had a whole lot of school spirit. We just, everybody got involved, so it was really fun. And then our football game, we played at Awanda, and we won 15-14, so I'm happy. And then our homecoming dance, it was very successful. We went from having the first week sold 35 tickets to 400, so 400 and something, so that was good. We also had our blood drive. We collected 144 units of blood. That could save 432 lives, so happy because of that. Our pink out game we just had last week, and as we speak, Link Crew is hosting their movie night, and they teamed up with Think Together, which is like a program, so it's open to all students. We also have happening today at 6 our senior parent night. Lifetouch and Jostens will be there, so for more information. We have our drama play coming up, Stage Door. We also have at school, Plus is a group, and they've built a wall of kindness. So at lunchtime, people can go out there and look at it. It's really nice. And we have our Menifee Bowl coming up, and our Spirit Week for that is Ohana Day on Monday. On Tuesday, Dress for Success, we also teamed up with Avid for their college fair. We're orange, we're too bright for drugs. And it's Unity Month, so we, to stop bullying. On Thursday, we're gonna wear red for Spirit. And Friday is Halloween, so it's Costume Day. And I invite you guys to come support us at our football game, Heritage versus Paloma. And thank you for letting me. Oh, we also got this award for our counseling office. Yeah, this is the award.
Model of excellence.
Yes. And so I thank you guys for letting me speak about our campus. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Twyman.
From Paloma Valley, I'm Andrew Alling.
Good evening, members of the school board, President Holstrom, Superintendent Greenberg, and Cabinet. My name is Andrew Alling. I'm a senior at Paloma Valley High School. I'm currently the Commissioner of Spirit of my school's ASB, and I'm here to talk to you about the recent events that have occurred at Paloma and future events that we have planned for the month of October. Just recently, we had our Alice in Wonderland themed homecoming. Okay, thank you. We had our Alice in Wonderland themed homecoming week, Spirit Week, starting with Mad Hatter Monday, Tweedledee Tweedledum Twin Tuesday, Flower Power Wednesday, Disney Tourist Thursday, and then Maroon Friday. These days led to our homecoming pep rally with performances of our school's ASB, cheer squad, song team, and our dance team called New Era. Our homecoming against Lakeside High School, where our football team beat them 35-0, and also our homecoming dance the following day, which went accordingly as planned, selling more than 500 tickets with many students in attendance. Also, at our new football game, or at our football game, we have our new student section called the Maroon Platoon, which is thriving this year, one of the largest student sections in the district, and is a group of very enthusiastic students who attend football games both home and away, leading the crowd with chants and cheers, all decked out with maroon. And anticipated events is the Menifee Bowl. One of the most anticipated games of the seasons will be held on Thursday, October 30th at Heritage High School between Heritage and Paloma. This game is also on the same night as our girls volleyball senior night against Heritage, which is at home, and we are hoping to have the Maroon Platoon at the volleyball game and then transport by bus to the Heritage game. Also, our school has had a very successful point system called the Plasco point system. It's a system where all security guards have a scanner with them at all times, and you can scan IDs of students for doing positive things like participating in school spirit days. So if you're wearing maroon, you get your ID scanned, or if you're picking up trash after lunch or just doing good things, or you could also get scanned for doing like being tardy and you lose points. It's a collective points for each class and for individuals. So recently, every class's points were counted up, and the senior class, who had the most points of over 3,000 points, were awarded the Spirit Stick diploma, and they're granted that our class president at the homecoming pep rally. The administration also gave out rewards such as school sweaters and shirts to individual leaders of each class for points and attendance records. Also to add, Paloma was awarded the 2014 Riverside County Models of Academic Excellence and Innovation for the use of technology. Which was granted for our use of technology, including Chromebooks, iPads, and the Plasco point system. And then here I have a slideshow of some pictures. This was the first day of school pep rally that we had, and the whole school's in attendance. A lot of school spirit. That was the first Spirit Week that we had. That was just like the coming back to school Spirit Week. We had Nerd Day, Superhero Day. This was the night where they celebrated 20th anniversary of Paloma as a school, and they celebrated all staff members that have been here for all 20 years. This was the first student of the month that we had, Sienna Alnut. This was the first home game, and there's our Maroon Platoon. This was a game against Clackamas High School, which was actually a school from Oregon that came all the way down here to play us. This was a homecoming pep rally. Our class president with the Spirit Stick on the left, and then our cheer squad performing on the right. And then these are pictures of our Maroon Platoon with our Spirit Stick on the right, showing spirit. And then this is the picture of today of receiving the county Models of Academic Excellence and Innovation. And thank you for this opportunity to present, board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Cooley.
Good evening, President Holstrom, board members, Superintendent Dr. Greenberg, and Cabinet. I am Melissa Vasquez, your school board representative, along with Major Ashley Jackson of our Paris High JROTC. In September, on the 19th, the Paris Panther football team defeated San Bernardino High School in a head-to-head match. Only days later on the 26th, the football team brought home another victory against Banning High School. The football team has energized our school, and the students of Paris High are behind our team. On the 22nd, our seniors attended the Senior Assembly, an informal meeting for all seniors involving graduation, senior contract, and Herb Jones, whom is our main vendor for senior gear. On the 30th, Paris High had a PLUS forum. PLUS stands for Peer Leaders Uniting Students. It is a program on campus that aims at raising awareness of today's teen issues.
Thank you, Melissa. Events for October was on October 2nd, we had a club rush, our annual club rush, where over 20 clubs participate. Current members did their best to recruit new club members. Clubs such as Friday Night Live, Black Student Union, and Pure Panthers were just a few clubs in full force that day. Continuing that night was from 6 to 8 p.m., and our NPR was the Grad Fair. The Grad Fair is an informational meeting for parents to learn about items available for their senior students, such as in attendance that night was Herb Jones, Friar Tucks, and the senior class. October 8th, there was a staff meeting that announced the Teacher of the Month, and our Teacher of the Month for Paris High was Miss Betty Tran, our avid school counselor. Sadly, I have some bad news to report for Paris High School. On October 10th, the Panther football team played Temescal Canyon, and we lost. Despite the loss, that does not diminish the great amount of school spirit that our school still supports our football team with, and all the spirit that our football team has thrusted onto campus. Finally, staying with the football theme, I would like to invite you to our Friday night home football game against Heritage High School. The first bag of popcorn's on me, so make sure you guys come. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Agundes.
From Pinacate Middle School, student reps Omar Elizonda and Monica Orabuena.
Good evening. Good evening, President Holstrom, members of the board, Dr. Greenberg, members of the cabinet. I am Omar, Pinnacote's ASB president, and thank you all for having me here to talk about the activities at Pinnacote. The girls volleyball team is currently 5-1 this season and has continued to show incredible improvement with each game. They are one of the top teams in their league, and they are looking forward to the playoffs. Thank you, Coach Meyer, and to our Lady Pumas. Our boys tackle football team beat Rancho Christian 62-30 2 weeks ago. They were led by several players. Not only did they win, but they also showed true class, helping the other team up after tackles and showing no signs of boastful attitude or poor sportsmanship. Our boys tackle football team is now 3-1 after beating Calvary Marietta 40-6. The entire team played. Once again, they showed to our fans and our opponents what it means to be our best. Following the game, a student on the other team mentioned that our players were nice, and their coach told Mr. Morgan that we are a class act. Once again, good job to Coach Jones and his staff, and to our campus supervisor for providing a safe and inviting environment for all to enjoy. Our next game will be tomorrow against Rio Honda. On Wednesday, October 1st, Congressman Mark Takano went to our school to visit the classrooms of Ms. Darton, Ms. Harris, Mr. Jones, and Mr. Anderson. Our students were very excited and proud that you as Congressman visit our school. He was impressed by the application and the diversity of technology in the classrooms. Throughout his visit, he expressed his desire to continue to help Pinnacote and our district by working with local businesses to further develop the use of technology in our classrooms. Thanks goes to Joe Williams and Mark Sinnott for planning and guiding the tour, and to our teachers and their students for being their best. The first week of October, ASB hosted a rock, paper, scissors competition where ASB students went out and played rock, paper, scissors, and after they finished, we asked for a survey of what they think ASB should do that they would like. We got many good responses. And on October 10, 2014, ASB also hosted a shuffle-off, and many students danced their hearts out and led them off to their 3-day weekend. Some upcoming events are our Six Flags Magic Mountain on November 8th, hosted by Club Live. They started selling tickets yesterday. Another upcoming event is Red Ribbon Week, October 21st to October 31st. And on October 31st, ASB will be hosting a Halloween dance. Once again, thank you for allowing me to be here, and thank you all for your time. I'm sure we have plenty more to report next month. And remember what we Pumas always say, be our best, every student, every day.
Thank you very much. Okay, Trustee Nielsen.
From Paris Lake High School, student representatives Heather Knoll and Daniel Nunez.
Yeah. Ooh. Good evening, Governing Board and Cabinet. My name is Heather Knoll. I'm a senior at Paris Lake High School, where I also attended last year as a junior.
My name's Daniel Nunez. I'm a senior at Paris Lake High School. I also attended last year, too.
My name is Daniel Lively. I also attended as a junior last year, and this is my senior year now.
My name is Austin Johnson. I'm a senior. I also attended last year.
I am here to report some of the exciting things that we've been doing this month, which includes our banner signing. We had 2 banners donated to us by Liz at Herff Jones. The senior banner is a commitment to graduate on time, and the junior banner is to promote the commitment to graduate next year. We are also continuing to play music at lunch 3 times a week. And at the end of the month, we have our first talent show planned for this year, as we have many students who are willing to share their talents with our student body, in addition to an awesome Spirit Week that will take place in the last week of October. Not to mention a scary haunted maze that we are all putting together. All the while, we are continuing to help needy families in our community with our canned food drive. And finally, a Not Scary Farm trip planned for our students on October 29th. In progression, we are planning an ice skating trip along with an afternoon of family cosmic bowling in November.
At Paris Lake High School, our goal is to be met that we're trying to get students to strive to graduate as a continuation school. We do this by promoting healthy growth, and one of the ways we do this is our lower level, we promote attendance we do this by an ice cream social, which is donated by Liz from Herff Jones also. She comes out once a month, and students get tickets from the office. They get tickets for their attendance, and they go out at lunch, and they go get ice cream, simple enough. Our next tier is our barbecue. We do a barbecue every month, 15 minutes before lunch. Kids are pulled out, and they go to a barbecue. During the barbecue, you get food, drinks, and whatever. You also get, during lunch, there's a raffle. You're entered in a raffle if you get the barbecue. And we give out skateboards, scooters, and other items and accessories. The next upper class is the Student of the Month, which our Student of the Month for our school is Jackie Atuna. Our district Rebel Student of the Month is Jeffrey Colton. Another thing is at Paris Lake High School, we're also striving to reach out to the community. In this, we having a rubbage sale soon, so we're planning on getting that. We're having a Pink Out Day, which is supporting breast cancer for October, and we're trying to get the school to just collaborate together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. From the Academy, we have Representative Brian Filicello.
Good evening, board members and cabinet of the Paris Union High School District. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening about the Academy. First, I would like to draw your attention to the bulletin board to the left. Ms. Ponte, our receptionist, did a nice job of outlining the process a student follows at the Academy. The ultimate goal is to help all students achieve success. On Friday, October 3rd, 2014, we held our first award ceremony. Students were acknowledged for their academic achievement, good attendance, and good citizenship. Several students were recognized. The names of these students were posted on our Shining Stars bulletin in the lunch area. We will continue to celebrate student success every 6 weeks to motivate all students. We also encourage students to participate in extracurricular activities while at school. We hold the Friday night club in the library on Wednesdays during lunch. The Bible club meets on Thursdays during lunch. We also started our basketball tournament during lunch this week. It was a great start and great fun. Students model good sportsmanship, hard work, and effort on the court. Students at the Academy will continue to soar towards success throughout the year. Thank you for your time and interest in the students at the Academy.
Thank you very much. Trustee Cooley?
Lucas told me at the end of the school day he had a transportation issue and was unable to make it.
You should have picked him up. Just kidding, just kidding.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Catch him next time.
Okay, oral reports, PSC President Paul Clay.
Thank you once again for this opportunity to address the board, and I do want to point out that every once in a while I see one of my students again, and Mr. Nunez is back here somewhere. There he is, and very proud to see them. I did have a parent who requested that I read a letter for her because she was unable to attend due to work. I'll just read it. My name is Annalisa Place. Annalisa Pace. I have two students that attend Heritage High School. When my daughter informed me the girls' basketball coach had been fired, she was very upset, and I was concerned. I went to the campus for more information. The basketball team had gathered after school in hopes of answers as well. Two other parents and myself asked to speak with Ms. Zerold after she refused to talk to the basketball team. When we entered the office, Ms. Zerold was very misleading in saying the coach had not been fired. She also led the three of us to believe that Coach Rashika's job was not in jeopardy. Once we left the office, we got word that Coach Rashika was not going to be coaching. Confused, the other parents and I went back into the office and asked Ms. Zerold for the truth. She was short, dismissive, and informed us she was not able to discuss the matter understandably. We did not ask for details. We just wanted to know the status of our children's coach so we could give them an informed answer. The other parents and I left feeling confused and unwelcome. During this time, my daughter started receiving threatening texts from an anonymous number that could not be traced by the police, and we have filed a police report. I brought these texts to the administration's attention. Also, at the end of the school year, last year, my daughter was also sent texts by another basketball player's parent, calling her a bully. Not once has any disciplinary action ever been taken against my daughter for bullying by the school. No complaints were ever made against her. It was very disturbing to my daughter and me. She still feels uncomfortable around the student and more uncomfortable around that parent. This whole situation has made my daughter's last year and my other daughter's first year at this school awkward and uncomfortable, and the school administration is doing nothing to make my daughters or me feel secure about the situation. I was advised to change my daughter's phone number to stop the texts, but if I do that, that will not stop the threatening behavior. That's my concern. This all stems from basketball, a school-supported activity. And if you would like the way to contact her, I certainly can provide that. So this was a concern that has been expressed to me by a couple of parents. I do want to go back to a year ago. A year ago, we were having problems at the lake. As you know, we had massive mold. I mean, it was described to me when they were fixing it that in some spots in the wall it was just caked. And during this time, this was when they were starting to take care of it. And as I also have already mentioned, they fixed these several problems, many problems beyond that. And over the summer, painted each and every one of the rooms, fixed broken ceiling tiles, fixed the grills on the windows that lock and protect them and have to be opened in case of emergencies. And the school looks a lot better. last year I felt that it had been neglected for so long that I brought this to your attention several times, and it was corrected. And I do appreciate that. Today, it's really an example of what cooperation can be in this district, and I'm very proud to say that I think things are going very well there. Similarly, the one thing is Paris is laboring under this intense handicap with the remodeling going on there. There's construction everywhere. There's construction crews all the time. There's no way to avoid it. And again, last meeting I informed you that everything seemed to be going very smoothly, and none of the anticipated problems really emerged, or at least if they did, they were handled. So again, these two schools have been outstanding, I think, in this beginning semester of this year, and doing just very well. And I did want to compliment the principals. By the same token, we do continue to have a problem that I've been trying to address with the administration. And while some small progress has been made, and I do readily concede this, the special education department is having considerably more problems than I've been aware of in the past. And we are continuing to talk about this, but these problems are quite severe from areas where some changing tables, for instance, are it's kind of unsanitary. We understand that changes have been made to that already since the beginning of the semester, since I started talking about that, and some other problems. But there continue to be other issues, and I'm hoping that we can iron this out. But if I could compare this to the situation we were in last year with Paris Lake, where there seemed to be just so many problems in mounting, that's kind of where I feel we are with special education right now. So I'm hoping that we will resolve many of these issues, but it has become my greatest concern right now. So anyway, I thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Paul. And any students that need to go home and do their homework are welcome to do that. But you're also welcome to stay and observe. Yeah, you got to go catch him. Okay. Consider another report from Robert Colvin, CSEA president. I'm sorry I dismissed your audience, but give it a shot anyway.
They were the only ones that understand me. Good evening, President Holstrom, trustees Cooley, Nellison, Agundas, and Twyman, Dr. Greenberg, and Mrs. Savage. Thank you for the opportunity to address you this evening. And I would like to thank you for the professional development classes that have been taking place and are going to continue to take place. We really appreciate that. We would like to ask one thing, if we could possibly do some classes on the professional development end that do not have an online registration. As in classified, we have people like groundskeepers, campus supervisors, custodians, and so forth that don't work at a desk and don't check their emails regularly, and some of them don't even have email. So if we could possibly figure a way to do that, that would be fantastic. And also on behalf of the library media technicians, we would like to thank you for approving their reclass. They are excited about that, and it is nice to show how the district and the classified staff can work together. And then finally, I want to give a shout out to Marcy. I had a big chore ahead of me a couple of days ago over at her offices of putting a sign up on a door. It was rather large and cumbersome. It was giving me some hassles. And she stepped right in and gave me a hand. That's all it took from her. I'm just giving everything I got. It only took a nail from her. But I do want to thank her for that. And I just want to let her know that if you ever do get tired of being assistant superintendent, we can probably find a spot for you maintenance. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, invitation to address the Board of Trustees. I'll read my little thing here because that's what I'm supposed to do. Person wishing to be heard by the board shall first be recognized by the president and shall then proceed Comment as briefly as the subject permits. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input in each item to 20 minutes. Okay, I have one in non-agendized item. Cynthia Clark.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know where to start to list everybody. So board members and, and superintendent and everyone. I'd like to thank you for the invitation to attend the open house at Paris High School to see all the improvements because of the bond. The students that met us at the door were very knowledgeable and were able to answer a lot of questions, and they seated us. The band was phenomenal. The students that cooked and served the food were great. Jackie and I went on the tour of the ag department. The students were so excited with the new additions to the area that they're able to enter more items when they go to conferences and fairs. I can't wait until the larger animals can be added so the students will participate in that area also. I'm looking forward to my next tour at one of the other campuses, having to do with the bond. And just for the heck of it, I did drafting by hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Any other requests? Okay. Okay, consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second?
Dave and Joan, any questions or anything on this? Okay, please vote. Okay. Okay, oral reports. No new any new employees?
None.
None. Okay. Community parent outreach update.
Oh, what happened to 11-2? Oh, did we, 11-2 and 3 got switched? Oh, okay. I got confused.
Oh, jeez.
I'm looking here and not up here. Good job, Lori.
So 11.2, here it is.
Yeah.
11.2. Board President Hallstrom, Vice President Cooley, members of the board, Superintendent Greenberg, Cabinet, and to all of you in the audience, it is with great pleasure that I have the opportunity of introducing Dr. Lynn Larson, Associate. Which one am I on? I got it.
So the public knows,
We
originally
had a
11-2 was 11-3, and now 11-3 is 11-2. So,
And I apologize.
Marcy and I
was
got a
looking
little
in
confused by
binder
that.
rather than online. Yeah, thank you.
Lori's
Okay.
keeping us on our toes.
Okay, so you're ready, Lynn, when later. Okay. But as you know, every month we have the wonderful opportunity of introducing some phenomenal parent community members in Paris Union High School District. And with us tonight, I'm going to ask, we have several of those volunteers who have put in numerous hours just in the past month. And we do this on a monthly basis. At the individual sites, they're recognized when they reach certain milestones, like 100 hours, 200 hours, 300 hours, etc. Because our goal is 2,014 minutes for every volunteer for the year 2014. And I think we even have some parents who are pretty close to that. That equates to 33 hours, if you remember from last month. But with us this evening, if I could ask Grace from the parent liaison from Pinacati to come up with me. Grace Farazad. And then also Teresa Gonzalez from CMI. I don't see. No. Okay. So we have two schools represented, and this is a big honor. And I'm just so glad all of you are here. So I would like to call the parents up and have them, if I could, have them come by and just shake your hands, because you know, you're like stars. You're our leaders, and it's really important for them to be recognized for all of their service. So with that, and maybe the two of you can share how they volunteered some of their time, not to be real lengthy, but what types of things have they done, okay? So Matilda Garcia, would you please join us? Oh, you got here. Very good. Thank you. I'm going to let you shake hands, and then we'll give this to you when you come back. This is Matilda Garcia. Does one of you want to share how she earned her hours? Go ahead. Go ahead and share.
Well, Matilda is there 3 days a week, and she's there helping teachers and staff with various, activities. So running copies, doing bulletin boards, et cetera, et cetera. So we really appreciate your effort, of being there. Thank you.
And behind you is Mr. Morgan to... The next parent to be recognized, you can stay up here, Matilda. It's okay. You can be nervous with everybody else. Is Maria Racinos? Not here? Oh, I am sorry. We'll hold it till the next month. Okay.
Can I give it to her on the coffee with the principal?
You may.
We're going to recognize
you bet.
Other moms.
Okay.
And Isabel Gutierrez also.
I just need to see something. Oops. Before you have the official signature of our superintendent. So hold that, because I need to get Jonathan. Isabel Gutierrez, please join us.
Yeah, she couldn't make it.
Oh, she couldn't make it either.
Yeah, this one is signed already.
Orchestration here. Okay. Charisse Shabazz. Come on up, Charisse. And who is he?
Okay. Good afternoon, Board and Trustees. I just want to let you know that Mrs. Shabazz, she's been volunteering at our school for several years now, and I'm really happy to introduce her to you. She's the type of mom that you'll call her like an hour before something's coming up, and she will come to the rescue. And I just want to thank her for several years that she's been volunteering at CMI, and just thank her for everything she does. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And the last parent to be recognized for this month is Belinda Carballo. Carballo.
And as well as Ms. Carballo, I know her for several years now. Again, these parents have helped CMI for several years. They put in their time to help us with whatever we need, and I just want to thank her for coming and finally being able to recognize her here at the board, and thank you for all her time. So thank you, Belinda.
Thank you and congratulations. And I just have to share, today was really a magnificent moment. It just shows the dedication of our parents. I don't know how many parents attended the Model of Excellence presentation today, the whole workshop, but there were probably, how many did you transport? Where did Grace go? 6. They left, they met at 6 this morning and didn't get back till about 2:30 today. And we're just so proud that Paris Union High School District is so well represented with their parent volunteers. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Okay, Brandman University Memorandum of Understanding.
So good evening again. And as I started to state that I am very, very honored to introduce you to Dr. Lynn Larson, Associate Dean? Yeah, right. Associate Dean with Brandman University. And we are so happy to have this partnership with Brandman as you know, college and career pursuits are big focus for us this year. And so through efforts with Brandman, we should really have some very progressive moments for our students and staff. So with that, Dr. Larson's going to share with you a little bit about what this partnership entails. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much for having me this evening and giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about this exciting partnership that we're developing between Brandman University and Paris Union High School District. I've known Dr. Greenberg for many years. He's worked for the Moreno Valley and Riverside campuses of Brandman University, formerly Chapman University College, for many years, and he's always been a very active participant in our programs and supportive of the work that we're trying to do in the community as well, so I'm very grateful for that. One of our goals as we go into a year where we're seeking national accreditation for our School of Education programs, we're seeking NCATE accreditation, and we're also up for our CTC. So we have a dual site visit coming this spring. One of the goals that our dean has is to extend our reach beyond our campuses and our students at our campuses into our region and to support stakeholders and support school districts in the work that they do, not just by student teachers and interns coming into your district from our programs, but by seeing how we can benefit one another with professional development and other things. Brandman University has a long history of supporting students, and we have 20 campuses up and down the state, and so we're really vested in the areas in which our campuses are found. So I'm very excited about this work. We had several meetings with Dr. Greenberg and Marcy looking at your strategic goals for the district and looking at how Brandman could support those goals and how we could benefit one another. And there are a number of different initiatives that we've already actually started working on. I had a meeting with the parent liaisons about Odyssey of the Mind, which is an international creativity competition. I'm the state director, the volunteer state director for that organization. And so we're getting the wheels turning for that. A few of the other things that we are hoping to develop through this partnership is that Paris Union High School District will be a preferred site for our student teachers and our interns. And so our clinical coordinator will be working with your human resources department to place our student teachers and interns in your district so that they can learn from all the wonderful things that are going on in your district. I've heard so many great things just about your technology and all the great programs that are here. So I'm very excited about our student teachers and interns being able to learn from the best teachers in the area. We also have a very active and thriving doctoral program, and so there's an opportunity for our doctoral candidates to be doing dissertation-level research and outreach with teachers and programs in your district as well. So I'm excited about that opportunity as well. We have a number of faculty who are experts in various areas related to pedagogy, technology, and so on. And so we'll be working closely with the leadership in the district to determine what types of professional development we can provide for your teachers. And Dr. Raymond Hurst, who is our faculty at the Ontario campus, is an expert in inquiry-based learning and does an excellent job providing strategies related to Common Core implementation. So we're looking at that as well. So those are some of the things that we're looking at with our partnership, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about my role, about the agreement, or anything else.
Thank you very much, Dr. Larson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, oral report, advancement placement course textbooks.
Okay. Let me respond to that. For those of you who were present at the last board meeting, we had a teacher from Paloma Valley High School who shared the outdatedness. She spoke on behalf of teachers in the district and the outdatedness of many of our AP texts. And, they're kind of, yeah, I have that. Yep, still have it. And what I did was I took that list and compared it with the library. We had a library staff meeting. We checked because we wanted to go back and check our inventories and just see the who, what, where, and when the current resources we had. Unfortunately, we have a lot of what we call pre-Freud books. So, that just pre-Freud. So, this will be a big endeavor, and working with Grant very closely in regards to textbooks for English language arts and math. with the Common Core emphasis, focus, we have a big endeavor on our hands. Not only is it costly, but it's just a big, huge endeavor. And it's going to take all of us the remainder of this year to really define the textbooks that are needed for the new adoptions, but also to update in a kind of a leveled system of how to update our AP textbooks. So with that, we will form a district-wide committee with representation from all sites. And from that, they will make recommendations. We'll pull vendors in and have them begin to look at what are the best resources to help them really have what we call deep and rich and rigorous instruction. So
This would be for the regular kids too.
Yeah,
It would be for
textbooks
everyone.
all across
over.
the board. But
So-
the other thing to remember too is we need to start thinking about not having textbooks. That working with publishers to get things in the clouds. Essentially, we would have textbooks, Mrs. Cooley, but they would be accessible through the Chromebook and through the technology we have. But that costs money too.
Parents that do not want children on a Chromebook or internet that have to have a book. I don't know.
Well, I attended the one at Paloma Valley, Mr. Williamson, your presentation, and there was one, right? One parent at Paloma Valley who said, so certainly it's not a groundswell of parents not having kids have Chromebooks. So
And we need to work through a system, because we always need to be Williams compliant, but we need to really be aware of, I just want you to know, the vendors, it's like going to a swap meet. There's just handouts everywhere, and we want your business. So we want to make sure that whatever is decided truly aligns to the instruction that has been developed. That's key. Our ELA and math teams have been, and science as well, and Grant can address that. They have spent countless hours and brilliance developing units of study. So whatever textbooks or resources we have to help supplement, they really have to be in line. The other thing, too, is for the AP textbooks, that also we have to kind of think futuristic, not just buy it for today, but for 3 years down the road. And with that, in regards to the parent, the library staff was really to be commended last week. They devised a consent form that will take to the technology department that gives permission, because for Williams, we are required now to show, is a student receiving instruction, online web-based textbook, and they have to indicate it. So for instance, a parent may say, I want a textbook for English, but everything else can be online. So it has to be defined by each course that they're taking. So it's become a much more complicated piece, and once again, we'll be working very closely with technology in developing that. So with that, the vendors offer what we call these inclusive, all-inclusive offerings that include a text plus something else. It's a price thing. It's also availability. But number one, it really has to do with key alignment to Common Core, to our standards. So it's a big process.
Grant, did you want to?
Well, just every vendor I've been talking with about textbooks, it's guaranteed that they have some kind of ebook, but we would also have hard copies. Maybe not as many as we've ordered in the past, but we would have those available for those students that the parents choose not to have a Chromebook, or choose that maybe the kid likes to have a real textbook. They would have that available also. So we'll have both options available to them. Really, they're charging about the same price. They're about the same price. They're not going to give you a deal on an ebook. Yeah, it's almost the same. You're talking $100 a book. Yeah, but the only thing, the electronic version won't wear out, and as they add new stuff in, it's automatically put in. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Written reports. Williams Supplement Quarterly Uniform Complaint Report Summary for July and through September. Suspension report for September. Comment?
Well, my comment has to do with the suspension report that I just got today, and out of our, what do we have, 11,000 students? And I, one child, and I know that can't be true. I mean, there should be, usually last year we had 4 or 5, not that I'm advocating they all need to be suspended, but I think in view that I do have more time now to go around to the schools, and I do spend more time there, and I'm always for the teacher. And when I walk into the classroom and there are things going on that should not be, and we don't seem to be able to get disruptive kids out of the classroom. And I look at that one suspension and I think, oh, how far do we go? I mean, coddling. And that's all I'm going to say right now.
Any other comments on this? Okay. Now we're going to action item 13.1, personnel, substitute teacher salary schedule. And do I have a motion, please? Board first. Just a second. So who was first? Ed?
Ed.
Okay. And David? Okay, and we have one person requesting to talk about this topic. Brady?
Thank you, Mr. President, board members, and cabinet. I wanted to speak about this topic, and I think some of the comments I might say you're going to find strange because I am a substitute teacher for the district. And when I read this, I actually have a problem with this. And that's strange. You would think that a substitute teacher would love to see a $10 raise, and I do have a problem with that. And my issue is, instead of a higher pay, I would actually like to see a higher standard for the substitute teachers. In my 4 years of substitute teaching, I have seen fellow substitute teachers fall asleep in class. Last week I was at a location, and as we were checking out for the day, a substitute teacher was being politely scorned by the substitute coordinator that he was caught falling asleep by one of the school administrators, and his only question was, when and how many times? That's not the kind of substitute teacher we need at this district. I know we have a shortage. There is no doubt. Using my public administration degree, the number one rule of a policy is you don't throw more money at a policy and that would cure the policy. You increment different parts to the policy to make the policy better. Throwing money at a policy doesn't mean that it will be better. If you add $10 a day to a substitute teacher's pay, doesn't mean they're going to get better. It just means they're going to get $10 more a day. The other problem is a lot of times substitute teachers take jobs that they don't know what they're doing. Again, I was at a different location, and I'm sitting there, and I'm at the door greeting students, as it even says in the manual, but most subs don't do. And a lot of the students are like, Mr. Brady, you should be substituting over here. And I'm like, oh, well, you guys already have this teacher. It was for foreign language. I'm like, you guys are already learning this. And like, no, this is a long-term sub, and they don't even know that language. How can someone take a long-term substitute position and they don't even know the material? That, to me, is not right. Again, because we don't have a higher standard. So if we don't have a higher standard, why would we give them higher pay? When we get to teaching at the substitute, we have a form that we have to fill out. We fill out the top about how the day went. And then there's a bottom that is supposed to be an evaluation. 4 years of substitute teaching, I've never seen my evaluation. Why don't we evaluate our substitutes better? If we bring better subs into the district, then we absolutely should authorize a higher $10 per day funding, because then we have better subs. If you say that now we're one of the higher paid districts because we give $135 a day, you are going to get more subs, no doubt. But are you going to get the quality substitute that you need? You can ask the teachers of the district, and I'm sure they'll tell you that they had some bad subs and they've had some very good subs. But what we need to do is we need to eliminate the bad and bring in the good. maybe instead of giving them a $10 a day flat pay, you should give a bonus to those that deserve it based on the evaluations given by the teachers and the administrations that they have. Lastly, the only thing I would like to say is, sorry for the time run over, a lot of times we have shortages of subs because of scheduling conflicts, not on purpose by the district. I was at Paris High School a few weeks ago. The entire ag department was gone, and there were other conferences that took a lot of other teachers gone. They needed approximately 12 to 14 subs on that campus alone, and they only had 6 or 7. So we also need to, as a district, look at scheduling problems as well, too. Thank you, and I'm sorry for going over.
President Holstrom, I didn't fill out a card. Can I make a comment?
You would like to speak on this subject? Okay, be very brief.
I just want to say that Brady and I are good friends, and I usually do agree with him. But I do support the higher pay because I hope that will bring in more potential teachers to choose from, and that's really all I have to say. But thank you, and I do agree with Brady. We do need to screen. We need to compliment those who are doing well.
Follow through on the procedures then.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Chuck.
The administration's position is, I agree with Paul Clay. We need to raise the pay for substitute teachers. It's supply and demand, Mr. McCarron. It's not quality. We just don't have enough subs at the academy and at Pinacati Middle School. And so hopefully by paying a few dollars more, we'll have more people out there. In terms of improving the quality, we try to do that no matter what we pay them. Certainly we want people to come here and do commendable service. As far as getting subs that don't speak a foreign language, when you pay $125 a day, you're not going to get somebody who speaks French or Spanish who clearly can make more doing something else other than being a substitute teacher. So in all due respect, what we're hoping to do is raise this by $10 a day so that the teachers at the academy and at Pinacati aren't having to sub every single day on their prep period because we don't have enough subs. So really what we're trying to do is make we're looking first at the regular classroom teacher, unfortunately not first at the substitute level, and try to make lives better for the classroom teacher so that they aren't impacted 3 or 4 times a week having to give up their prep and substitute a class, even though they get paid extra for doing that. If you talk to most teachers, they'd rather have their prep than substitute.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this is just essentially, as of right now, for the academy.
It's
and
the only 2 schools.
And Pinacati.
Yes, sir.
And those are the only ones determined by Human Resources as the hard-to-fill positions currently.
That would be correct. And we'll monitor it and see if it works. We're hoping.
Yeah, just my comment, I can remember being asked, quote unquote, to sub while I was a teacher. And it was nothing that approached even being a pleasant experience for all that time. And I was happy when each day was done when I had to do that because it's tough on them. So hopefully we can find whatever the need is and get our people in there. So it gives the teachers a little less stress in their job, which is difficult to do. Thank you. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, well, you please vote. Okay. Okay, action items, business, resolutions 06-14-15, resolution of the Board of Trustees, United authorized and providing issuance of not to exceed $31 million of Paris Union High School District General Obligation Refunding Bonds. Okay.
And in Candace's absence, I get to speak about this item. You might recall at the last board meeting we presented this. Oh, you want to get the motion on the floor? Oh, that might help, huh?
Oh,
sorry.
Thanks. President training.
I was so excited about speaking for Candace.
Okay, I sounded like Ed and David didn't need to be asked.
All right, Jonathan.
Okay, now talk.
Candace is probably over Omaha right now and being nervous as can be about this. But actually, we're very lucky. Scott Smith is here from CSG Advisors, our financial advisor, to help answer any questions. But the long and short of it is by refinancing these bonds, this is something that taxpayers don't see very often. We're actually going to be returning money as opposed to taking more money. But Scott's here to answer any questions. Candace did a really good job last month explaining this to you, but certainly if you have any questions, I'll defer to Scott, even though I could answer the questions. But Scott could probably do a better job. Yeah, well, yeah,
Boy,
you bean
he
counter.
comes
You.
right after you.
We didn't ask you to be funny. You know, you're a consultant. Come on.
Yeah, I have a comment. It's I checked out the cost. 'Cause a lot of times folks don't check out the cost, and it's very reasonable. We're getting a real good deal for what they're doing. So I don't know how they're doing it for that much, but it's a real good deal for the district. Okay.
Any other questions, comments about this? The idea of saving the district taxpayers, was it $3.3 million or something like that?
Although I have to say, everybody saw the stock market was pretty poor the last few days. You know, we've had just in the bond market in the last 2 days, just the national scale that we price bonds off of improved 10 basis points per day, day over day, the last 2 days. So we're probably doing better than what we estimated last month.
So let me see if I understand this, Scott. So the stock market goes down, and our taxpayers do better. Who knew? Okay.
Okay. So in the end, our taxpayers benefit from this process here. Okay. Okay, please vote.
Chris, go ahead and text Candace. Tell him the board voted 0-5 against the idea. That's what you get for missing a board meeting.
Okay, information items, curriculum, new course, science, advanced placement, physics, part 2. Anatomy and physiology and veterinary science, science. Business revolving cash report for September. Board policies, something for us to spend time reading for the next month. And board bylaws, thrilling. Closed session?
No, sir.
Good. Okay, come on. Okay, 71, discipline, board review, student discipline matters, ratification, agreement of expulsion. Motion, please.
Second.
David and Ed. Yeah. Okay, please vote on it. Other items by the superintendent?
None, sir.
Okay. Other items by the Board of Trustees? Carolyn?
And we used to actually have like 5 classes that we had as a folder or something, and as substitutes teaching. So if we had a day that we missed, they would actually be able to refer to that. That may not work all the time, but it really helped having some kind of a backup. Substitutes weren't on their own, as there are many times, and it kept, the class organized. So it's something to think about.
Okay. Ed?
No comment.
David?
Nothing.
Joan?
I have a list of
schools that I've had before, and I have been a teacher for 30 years. I'm glad I don't teach anymore. I think it is the toughest job in the world, and when you can't get the kid's attention, and the kid is cursing you, and I see it in different campuses. I won't point out any in particular, but and in the lower grades, I mean, maybe this is a dichotomy of our society. I guess it is. But how can you teach when you can't get their attention and they're cussing you out? And yet nothing seems to be happening. And I have heard also, I go down to Escondido a day a week, and I have for 5 years, and I hear the same thing from teachers down there. I used to love to teach, and that really almost makes me cry. And I hear that comment down there too, as well as up here. I used to love to teach, but not anymore. And, it really gets to me here in my heart. And I think we need substitute teachers for special ed teachers when they're out. I'm not proud of one student being suspended when I know there are terrible atrocities that are occurring in the classroom. I would like to compare the passing rate for the math on the Algebra 1 courses and the new Integrated Math 1 courses at all 3 schools, and just kind of get an idea of what is happening now. I mean, passing and failing. I think we hire teachers, and when they say something, then how does a kid question the teacher or yet go and tell a big fib to the administration about stuff that's happened, and then the teacher has to be on the hot seat again? And those are just some of the things that in meandering around the campus, that I have a problem with. And I would have a problem having a young daughter or son in a classroom where some of this stuff is occurring. And we can't gloss over it. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Joan. Just as a comment, the one item we did vote on was an expulsion, and that was threatening an employee. But I hope some of these programs that have been put in place at the different schools to work with these individual students who have a hard time controlling their behavior, and when they do that, it hurts the other students because their learning is cut back, and if they get sent back right away, then it destroys the teacher's effectiveness. So hopefully these programs that have been in place are going to be monitored very closely and to see if they're successful in changing behavior, because if it doesn't change their behavior, then it's hurting all the other students who are in those classes because they are not getting their education. Okay, that's mine. Anybody else? Okay, next item. Please have a motion.
Second.
Oh, Joan got up on that one.
Too much on my mind.
She finally chimed in.
Okay. Please vote. Okay. Thank you very much.